Hello everyone, gentlemen of the press. I am Reverend Dr. Ayuba Asheshe, the ECWA General Secretary. I am here to address you on the great concern of the ongoing violences all over the place. The Evangelical Church Winning All expresses its profound grief and deep concern over the surge of violence incident impacting its members and communities in Kaduna and Plateau states. These interconnected crises, marked by banditry, kidnappings, and brutal militia attacks, demand immediate and decisive intervention from government and all stakeholders. In Kaduna State, the Kwasam DCC of Kauru local government area has been ravaged by relentless banditry and kidnappings in recent weeks. Tragically, over 20 lives have been lost and over 100 individuals, including church members and community residents, have been abducted. The church has already expended hundreds of millions of naira as a ransom payment, yet over 50 individuals remain in captivity, placing an unbearable financial strain on the church and affected families, many of whom have lost their livelihoods. The targeting of predominantly farming communities in the region further exacerbates the crisis, posing a significant threat to food security in the affected areas and neighboring communities due to the disruption of agricultural activities. Simultaneously, the Binawa LCC of ECWA Saminaka DCC in Lere local government area of Kaduna State has also suffered recent attacks. On the night of Tuesday, February 4, 2025, 3 communities, namely Majagada 1 and 2 and Tsohongalim Binawa, were targeted, resulting in the kidnapping of 16 individuals, the killing of 6, and injuries to 4 others. These tragic events have plunged the affected community into deep mourning and fear, highlighting the continued vulnerability of ECWA members and Christians at large. These incidences in Kwasam and Binawa are but 2 examples of the numerous kidnapping crises affecting the wider ECWA family across Nigeria. Adding to this immense pain, a separate tragedy occurred in Billiri, Gombe State, during the Easter Monday celebration. A trailer truck lost control and tragically struck a procession of Christians, resulting in the death of 5 individuals and injuries to many others. Furthermore, ECWA is witnessing an alarming escalation of violence in Plateau State, orchestrated by Fulani militia and their sponsors against defenseless communities. On Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025, at approximately 3 p.m., Huriti village in Manguna district of Bokos local government area was subjected to an unprovoked and brutal attack. 40 people, including 2 ECWA pastors, were murdered. 240 houses were burned down, and massive quantities of food, grains, and valuable materials were looted or destroyed. A distressing number of villagers remain missing as at now. Similarly, on Monday, April 14, 2025, between 12:10 a.m. and 1:30 a.m., the Zike community in Kimakpa in Kol district of Basa local government area were besieged. 50 individuals, including children, women, and men, were killed, and 10 others injured. Homes, household items, and farmland suffered extensive destruction, leaving families in utter despair. These attacks are viewed as part of a systematic campaign of terror against predominantly Christian communities who have long been marginalized and felt vulnerable. ECWA is deeply pained by this escalating violence and the immense suffering inflicted upon its members and communities. The long-term consequences of this insecurity, particularly concerning food security and the overall well-being of communities, are of great concern. ECWA implores the government at all levels, as well as all stakeholders, to urgently address these interconnected menaces. We call for a concerted effort to develop and implement effective strategy to combat banditry, kidnapping, and militia attack, and to restore peace and security to our rural areas. It is imperative that we work together to create safe havens for the present and future generations. In Plateau State, we specifically call upon 1. The federal government and security agencies to act and continue to act swiftly and decisively in bringing the perpetrators of the attacks to justice. 2. The Plateau State government to provide immediate relief and resettlement support to the displaced, as many have been torn away from their home of abode. 3. The international community, human rights organizations, and global church bodies to raise their voices and stand in solidarity with the suffering people of Plateau State, Nigeria, and Africa at large. Every community, too, as much as possible, prepare itself by being vigilant at all times, as these attackers can strike at any hour of the night or of the day. Reflecting on these events, we remind all Christians of the biblical warnings in Matthew 24 concerning the end times and the need for deep introspection on our lives and readiness to meet Jesus. Let us turn back to God, who will fight for us. ECWA mourns the loss of every precious life and stands firm in solidarity, prayer, and action with the bereaved and the displaced. We remain committed to supporting the affected communities and working with relevant authorities to find lasting solutions to these crises. We continue to pray for the release of those still in captivity and for the effort and healing of all those affected by this tragedy. I must at this juncture, and as ECWA, thank the state government and the federal government for the effort so far seen, and we still call for more. Thank you, and may the good Lord bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.